This module is for chemistry students who are calculating mole conversions using the IDEAS self-management strategy. This is Movie 2. What is a mole and who is Avogadro? Although this animal is a mole, it is not the type of mole used in chemistry. In chemistry, when people talk about mole, they are referring to mole as a counting unit. A mole is used in science to talk about extremely large numbers of extremely tiny countable objects such as molecules, atoms, or electrons, objects which are obviously way too small to see. We use the unit mole just like we use the unit dozen or the unit pair. 1 dozen equals 12 of something, like 1 dozen eggs. 1 pair equals 2 of something, like a pair of shoes. Calculating mole conversions is about changing from one type of units to another type of units. You already do this in everyday life. For example, you might change from a $1 bill to 4 quarters. And you need to know the unit names and their quantities. For example, you know that a $1 bill is 100 cents and a quarter is 25 cents. But in this module, you'll be using the gray box of mole equalities. More about that in another movie. Now, what is a mole? In chemistry, 1 mole means 602 sextillion 200 quintillion of something. 1 mole is written as 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd. The 23rd means to the 23rd power, or something multiplied by 10, and then that answer is multiplied by 10, and then multiplied by 10 again, and, well, you'd say, and then multiplied by 10 again, a total of 23 times. That equals 602 sextillion 200 quintillion. Get your response paddles and get prepared to answer true or false. A mole is a counting unit. True or false? Answer now. Paddles up. That's true. A mole is a counting unit. Paddles down. A dozen is a counting unit. True or false? Paddles up. That's true. Paddles down. 1 mole equals 1 dozen. True or false? Paddles up. That's false. Paddles down. 1 mole equals 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd. True or false? Paddles up. That's true. Paddles down. 10 to the 23rd means to add 10 plus 2 plus 3. True or false? Paddles up. That's false. Paddles down. 1 mole is so big that it's very easy to see. True or false? Paddles up. That is false. Paddles down. Now, who was Avogadro? We have a picture of Avogadro shown, and we need to realize that today it is easy to define atoms or molecules. In the early days of science, there was disagreement about the definitions. Avogadro was a lawyer and a physicist who lived in Italy. He was born in 1776. Around 1811, Avogadro hypothesized that equal values of all gases at the same temperature and pressure contain the same number of molecules. Avogadro's hypothesis was key to solving many problems facing the chemical sciences in the 1800s. But scientists did not believe his hypothesis was true. After Avogadro's death, scientists realized his hypothesis was true. Chemistry would be very different today if it were not for Avogadro's work. Avogadro's number is 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd. This number was not discovered by Avogadro, but because of his contribution to molecular theory, the number was given his name. How big or small is Avogadro's number of 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd? Well, the size of Avogadro's number is very hard to understand because a mole is so small. An Avogadro's number of soft drink cans would cover the whole Earth and be 200 miles deep. If you had Avogadro's number of unpopped popcorn kernels and spread the kernels across the United States of America, the country would be covered in popcorn over 9 miles deep. Amedeo Avogadro's work wasn't recognized until 2 years after he died. A friend showed how his work could be used to solve many of the problems of the day. How would you feel if you discovered something but no one gave you credit for it until long after you were dead? Did you know a mole of eggs will fill all of the oceans on Earth more than 30 million times over? If the idea of a mole was never used, we would never know the amount of chemicals to react to make things like paper, computer chips, gasoline, or soda. The gray box identifies mole equalities. There are 3 mole equalities used in calculating mole conversions. The first is Avogadro's number. 1 mole equals 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd. Use that for atoms, molecules, ions, or formula units. The second is 1 mole equals 22.4 liters. The third is 1 mole equals a certain number of grams. You'll be learning more about that in the next movie. Answer using your response paddle. Which of the following does not correspond to Avogadro's number? Look carefully at each of them. Make a decision. Get ready. Paddles up. If you chose C, you are correct. 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd grams, that does not correspond to Avogadro's number, not grams. So you've just completed movie 2, What is a Mole and Who is Avogadro? Next is movie 3, Molar Mass Demonstration. End of movie 2.